Okay, so this is level two, and we're doing exploring your natural strengths with the Colby Index. So let's go into slide four, and then I'm gonna have the notes just a little bit scrolled up so we can see them. Ooh, there we go. So the Colby Index measures, oh, okay. Oh, is Joseph here?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Joseph.
Hey, Joseph. So I just
Howdy.
started. We are talking about the Colby Index, and the Colby Index measures essentially how your natural strengths or inclinations lean in four different basically categories or aspects. The purpose of the Colby Index is to help you figure out how you naturally take action rather than you approaching something perhaps in a way you've been told or suggested, but might not be intuitive for you. It reveals your instinctive strengths, and everyone has instinctive strengths. And it helps you stop fighting your instinct and working with your instinct. This helps produce higher confidence, better teamwork, and less stress. So there is no good or bad in any of these categories. They're just more to help you figure out, based on the categories, where you feel you fall. Therefore, you can approach things in the future more naturally towards what you are predisposed to being rather than, or I guess not rather than, but so that you can either fulfill tasks or objectives better and to work in a team setting more efficiently. So the next slide. So think of a time when you worked on something and it felt easy or energizing. What made it feel that way? How might your natural instincts have helped you? So this could be the way you approached a specific task, a specific goal. It could even come down to maybe perhaps a topic that you like more or you had a natural inclination for over another one. Perhaps you're better at math than English. Maybe you like history more than science. It also can manifest in the way of like sports. You've tried a number of different sports, but perhaps you find that this one sport is the sport that you're the best at, right? So that's sort of one comparison and one example of playing to your natural strengths. Let's go to the next slide. So here is the Colby Index. Of it, there's four action modes. So this is the main gist of what Colby is. So the four modes are fact finder, follow through, quick start, and scroll down a little bit, and implementor. So scroll back up a little bit. We're going to go through each one. So of these four, there is no you are all of one or not one. Each one of them is a scale. Each one is a different thing. So they're not being high in one category might not mean you're high in another category that on its face looks the same but is different. So we'll go through that and then we'll give some examples. The first one is fact finder. This is how you handle information. Someone who's high fact finding likes to dig deep and do a lot of research before acting on something. They do a lot of deep dive. They ask a lot of questions, they want clarity, and prefer detailed instructions before making a decision. Someone who might be low on this scale likes simplified information to get to the point quickly. They prefer broad overviews instead of long explanations, and they act comfortably within limited details. So I just need high level, what is the information I need to know? Then I'll make the decision. Next one would be follow through. So how you organize. Do you like structured systems or do you like to have more flexibility? So someone high on follow through or initiating follow through naturally creates plans, systems, and checklists. They like structure, consistency, and clear routines, and they like to stay organized and prefer following the process in the exact order. Whereas someone who's low on this, so counteracting follow through, they adapt easily when plans change. So if something doesn't go step by step in the order or in the process, that doesn't throw them off. They connect ideas across different systems to find sort of creative ways to get things done. They don't rely on one single system. And they prefer flexibility over strict routines so they can jump between tasks. Next one would be quick start. How do you deal with change? Do you take risks and innovate, or do you prefer to stabilize and build on what works? So here, high on this scale would be initiating quick start. They jump into new ideas and experiment quickly. They're comfortable with change and taking risks. They get energy from trying things that haven't been done before. So you might see this characteristic a lot in people that are doing like tech startups. Next one would be low, counteracting quick start. So this is someone who prefers bringing stability to situations to reduce chaos. They prefer to improve what already works instead of reinventing. And then they think thinks through changes carefully before taking action. So an idea is someone for this might be like having a tire shop. So a tire shop exists. It's a very simple concept. You have a shop, you have cars that come in, they need new tires. Perhaps you've had someone who's had a shop for 40 years and it's all cash and they don't have any inventory of tires. They just know they have tires. They order tires. A way that this would be a low implementer or a counteracting implementer is someone who might just take the tire shop and add technology to it. Add an inventory system, add a point of sale so you could take credit cards, right? And it's not reinventing what the tire shop is. It's still changing tires, but now it's doing it more efficiently. So someone comes in and they take something that already exists and they improve upon it rather than trying to reinvent something. Like, for instance, the boom of social media, there had never been a Twitter, there had never been an Instagram, right? At one point, there had never been a YouTube. Those are all things that were sort of interrupters that were brand new that we didn't have before. And then sorry, that those are counteracting quick start. My bad. Implementer is what we're talking about. So those examples were examples of quick start. Last one is implementer, how you work with the physical world. So someone who's high at initiating of an implementer, they like to build, model, and physically demonstrate things, right? So you might have an architect who builds out the building, right? And they actually do a physical model to look at. They prefer being hands-on, learning things, having tangible tools. And they understand space design and mechanics easily. Someone who'd be the opposite or lower on this counteracting implementer, they imagine and visualize solutions instead of physically building them. So rather than building a visual model of a house, they might have a rendering on the computer that they use in like maybe Revit or like SketchUp. So they can visualize it, but on the computer itself, they don't need the physical model. And they can still see and understand how the world works without having to physically touch it. So when you look at these four, you might think, well, someone who's high on fact finding is going to be someone who is low on follow through. But that might not be the case. You could be someone who's high on fact finding, right? You really like to deep dive into getting information. And it might take you a month so that you gather all the information you need. But once you have it, you're quick to start, right? So these things, they're on a scale because you might in one category be high and another category be low. So not all of these things are you going to be high on all of them. You're going to be low on all of them. That's why it's a scale. So you're going to figure out looking through these things, answering these questions, looking at sort of the bullet points here. Which one are you more inclined to do? And then from there, you can figure out where you are on this scale and then start tailoring your approaches to problems, to family, to opportunities accordingly. So before we go to the next slide, Joseph, do you have any questions?
No, I think that makes sense.
Sounds good. Thank you. Next slide. So this workbook question, looking at four action modes, which ones do you tend to like to do first when approaching a problem? So of the four, look at the categories and see where you feel like you fall on a scale on each one of them. Hey, I'm maybe 50-50 here. You could be 90-10 somewhere else. You could be, 70-30. You can look at them and see, hey, of these things, I feel like this category I'm more aligned with this. This category I'm kind of in the middle. This category I'm more aligned with that. Let's go to the next slide. So the reason why you want to find where you fall on the Colby Index or why you want to pursue learning what your strengths are is because leaning into your natural strengths gives you confidence, but also helps you become aware of your blind spots. So when you see that you're more naturally inclined to perhaps write everything out and do the process step by step by step. One of your blind spots might be you realize that you fail to realize that maybe there's a redundant step, or that one step can be changed for a different step, or one step is not necessary altogether. So you don't want to be so regimented that you don't see that there could be change or a benefit from change. So once you figure out what you're more inclined to, you can realize all of the things that perhaps you turn a blind eye to. Also, when you know your Colby type, it helps you communicate better to people because you can communicate one, how you work, but two, you open that conversation to understanding how other people work, which helps build flexibility. Then combining your strengths, you're able to obviously achieve and get things done in a team setting because again, everybody playing to their strengths is better than one person doing it their way and everyone overly bending to that person's will, going against their natural strengths. And then lastly, as we know, success comes from respecting different instincts, right? Everyone is different, and when we appreciate that everyone's differences and their strengths, then we're able to come together and succeed. Let's go to the next slide. So here, how could you use your Colby strengths to make your schoolwork, friendships, or future career easier and more successful? Perhaps, your strengths are a little bit different depending on the context. How you approach schoolwork might be a little bit different than friendships or future career, but having a basic understanding of what you're most comfortable with and how you naturally are can help you in all three of those fields. And then let's go to the last slide. So the workbook and survey form are due this Friday at 5. The Ignite, so if anyone went to Ignite tonight, which would be Monday, March 6th, the post-survey form is due April 10th at 5 p.m. We have a field trip coming up this Sunday. The deadline to sign up for the field trip is this Thursday at 5. And then if you're a senior in high school and you're also in Youth Champions, you can pick up your sash on May 16th between 3 and 5. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to the team. Any questions?
I have one for Basha. In terms of the SASH pickup, do the students know what this is, or is it the first time they're hearing about it?
This is actually the first time that they will be hearing about this. I'm also, I think Kim will also send them an email about it. But basically, we are going to invite our youth champion seniors, those who are graduating, so that they can pick up their sash. It's going to be a very, very quick thing to do there. They will just go to Lee and Associates downtown office, register, and then pick up their sash, and we will provide snacks for them. It might take them about 5 minutes to finish. And picture taking also. Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to get their photo taken, they're going to get a sash. The sash is
Mhm.
to be worn at their high school graduation or this gala thing that's happening
Um, that
sometime.
that I'm not sure. I need to confirm that with the team. But as per the information that I got from Sheila, it's basically just they will just pick up the sash for now.
I think they can wear it to their high school graduation. I don't see why not.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know what the sash is for. And
All
so,
right. I
okay.
will have them confirmed also. Thank you,
Okay,
Joseph.
sweet.
All right. Any other
Okay. Well,
questions?
Sasha, are you going this Saturday or Sunday?
I may or may not go. I've been working a lot, so I have to weigh if I will or will not be going.